what? It's a magnificently hot day in Texas. It was actually a record pace, one degree below the most hot day, the hottest day ever recorded in the history of mankind in Texas. It was 107 degrees today. That's right, 107. I'm too close to the mic. Let me back up. There we go. 107 degrees today in Texas. Yo, welcome back to the Truth Seekers Live podcast. It's me, right? I know you hate the. Listen, we got a serious theme today. All right, we got a serious theme. Let me know if you like the frontal look better, whatever it might be. We got a serious theme, very serious message today. Look, I might lose some more subscribers, but I tell you what, it's been hot in these streets. It's been hot in these. I don't want to rhyme the word, so we're not going to do that. What we are going to do is go ahead and cover the national day today before we get into the topic and the message at hand. If you've been waiting for a couple minutes, I apologize. I know you've been waiting for a couple minutes. It's National Video Game Day. That's me every day. Jeez. Shout out to that. Be a kid again today. Every day on July 8th, you can stop doing what you're doing. You be a kid again, apparently. Gospel Day. Some of y'all can't afford to do that. Kebab Day. Math 2.0 Day. National Chocolate with Almonds Day. It's National Freezer Pop Day. It's also Jaden Smith's birthday. I'll tell you what. That's the way to end that holiday on a high note right there. Listen, we're not going to cover any news stories. We're going to go ahead and get it right on into this thing. Now, obviously, as a lot of you know and some of you hate, I watched the Woman's Sphere podcast, and it was interesting because the message I was getting ready to talk about somewhat parallels the message that she was having in talking with Cynthia G. And this whole Roe v. Wade situation thing has been happening and going down. It's been fascinating. It's been interesting, right? And so I've been sitting and trying to figure out where I should kind of, figure some things out. And this is what I've been thinking of. And this is what has honestly, been a really serious topic that I've wanted to talk about for a little bit, but it's just been interesting. And I think now is a decent time too. And so I'm going to, because I can personally relate to this, right? And some of y'all might not understand what that means, and most of y'all won't understand what that means, so you just have to take my word for it. But I wanted to bring this to light because it's a really important message that really is the solution to everything, with the Roe v. Wade, with the manosphere, with the accountability for women, with a whole bunch of different topics and issues that both sides have. And so without further ado, let's get into these stories. The title of the first video that we're talking about today, and this might be a trigger warning for some of y'all, but the title of this first video is going to be, I Hate Being a Mom. This was uploaded by a YouTuber by the name of Andrea M. And this was streamed on May 10th, 2018. Now, she wrote this in a dark mommy moment. Honestly, haven't you been there before? She says, when you're hurting so much inside that being a mom just sucks. Question: are you one of those moms that truly enjoys or being happy? Let's listen to what she has to say.
Out here, I just want to share some of my thoughts. This is some of my first alone time in a while. I am the type of person that I have to have a long time. I have to. I have to have not only alone time, but just like self-time or adult time. And as a single parent, and not even just as a single parent, because I see it with married moms, they also too do it alone. They go through as much loneliness as a single parent goes through. I see it all the time, and it's so hurtful.
Now, I'm going to stop and pause right here for a second, because the point that she's trying to make right now is somewhat counter to another video that we're going to watch in a while, which is this lady here. And she specifically in her video states that she feels lonely because she is single and she doesn't have a lover. So take it with a grain of salt. All three videos we're going to watch today are pretty intense. So going forward, here we go.
What I've been learning to do, I learned through life, just going through things or whatever. It's a learning process every day. I need to be able to write. I need to be able to have somebody that I can openly speak to and talk to, and they're not going to judge me. Sometimes I don't even need a response. I just need to let these things out, and I'm so glad I have somebody to do that too. We all need people, especially moms, who go through the same thing that we can just open up to in our darkest times and just speak it out. So this morning, I'll try to read it later. I can't get to it while I'm videoing. I was trying. I was in my darkness. Yesterday wasn't so great as a mom day with little one. She was just been acting out and telling me no and want to run through the parking lot and just it was a harsh day. It was really it was harsh. It was hard. It was y'all know the things that you go through with a toddler and they don't want to cooperate. Be like, come on, it's time to take a bath. I don't want to take a bath. I'm not taking a bath. I'm not ready yet. Me, I could not tell my mama at that age. I guess maybe I think we're softer, us, because telling my mama that I wasn't ready to take a bath in my day wasn't even happening. Like, no, can't tell her when I'm ready. These kids tell you 3 years old and telling you when they want to do something. But it was hard, really, 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 really hard. I had a rough one yesterday. It was really rough. But I wrote about it. I wrote just realness, just real straight realness. I even Googled. That's why I titled today, "I Hate Being a Mom," hoping that it attracts other people who sometimes feel that way, and you don't always see who's able to be that honest. And I don't want to hear anything from somebody who have no clue what it's really like to go through one time about that's your responsibility and da you gotta do. Shut the hell up, because you have no clue. You probably the same, your mama probably felt the same goddamn way when she saw your ass coming to this goddamn world. So miss me with that bullshit. We all, if we that's what a lot of things, that's what's a lot that's wrong is that we're not able to be as open as we need to be to each other, and that's when we just hold it in and bottle it in. That's why I'm glad that once again I'm okay with going through these things, because I know that God uses me, because He know I'm gonna talk about it and I'm gonna open up about it.
All right, so we're gonna pause for a second right here. All right, now she talked for a couple minutes, and I just wanted to play it for a second. And we're gonna come back to her video after we play a few other videos. Right, the other titles of the videos are the same, right? Which is coincidentally, "I Hate Being a Mom," right? Well, this one is. There's a lot more videos that are titled "I Hate Being a Mom." This one's called "Feeling Lonely and Having Anxiety as a Single Mom." But I want to talk about the hatred of being a mom for a second, and something that I don't think is talked about enough in any space on YouTube, whether that be the manosphere space, the divestment space, whatever it might be. And in relation to Roe v. Wade, since Roe v. Wade has been passed, there's been a celebration on the manosphere side from the guys, from the Dusties, from the guys who, maybe not the best with women, the best daters, who don't have the best success with women. Maybe it's the guys who have done really well for themselves, and the same women who rejected them, now they have a personal vendetta on. Maybe it's the guys who have legitimately been good guys and they got cheated on, something bad happened. But anyway, whatever reason they're in the manosphere, whether they be a virtuous reason or not, the general consensus is that they're really happy about the Roe v. Wade situation, because this is going to provide accountability, right? The magical A-letter word, the scarlet A-letter word, to women. Women are finally going to be held accountable for their actions, right? In this case, in the Roe v. Wade situation. But the Roe v. Wade situation, is a lot of YouTubers and a lot of the divested channels have pointed out. I'm sure a lot of them have. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard it already. If the women aren't able to go through with what they've been doing, or what you've been trying to shame them for, or what you don't think that they should be doing, which obviously y'all know my personal beliefs on that, where I stand as well. But if they're not able to do that, and then you end up impregnating a woman, then that's going to end up technically putting you on the leash government-wise, right? So it doesn't end up being the best look for you as a guy, or for a manosphere type of guy celebrating that women don't have the ability to go out and have an abortion if they want to, right? So it's an interesting argument. It's not one that guys really, I don't think, have taken time to understand and sit and think about, but it's one that I think both sides can honestly say that they have taken part in the fault in, or share the equal part of that fault in as well, because it assumes that one side is not consummating themselves physically, right? I'm trying to keep this as YouTube friendly as possible, right? It assumes that one side is celibate and the other side is not, when in reality, both sides have a very hard time being celibate, right? And this is what the ultimate reason of me making this video is about, because ultimately things are going to be completely drastically different now that the Roe v. Wade has happened. From what I've been understanding, most of the continental United States is going to move towards making abortion illegal, This is from what I've been reading. Abortion is going to be illegal. I've even been reading that, now I have to say allegedly here, but I've read from credible sources like websites, the websites that we get our news from, MSN things, that they're trying to make Plan B illegal as well. That's what I read, right? So we already know that abortion is getting ready to be out of the way, right? The issue going forward here is that the real topic of celibacy is not really pushed hard enough. What's been being pushed by Cynthia G has been abortion, right? What's been being pushed by other content creators and things like that is selective breeding and things of that nature. Well, it's pretty clear and obvious to me that there's a good amount of ladies, and I'm just going to be honest with you, there's some ladies out there that just don't have the best choice, but I'll let you hear it in a second. Admittedly, the ladies in the video even admits, and she says in this video, I kid you not, she says in this video that like she had a guy's kid, and here I'll play it for you because I'm sure you think I'm probably lying. So let's just listen to this for a second.
To feel like a chore, like it's something I had to do, not something I wanted to do.
Hang on, I'm gonna try and find it.
Once I felt that being a mom was a chore, and I was mad at how things turned out, that's when I started to think, damn, I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for him. My thoughts kept going back to, I really made my life hard for a man who doesn't give two fucks.
My fast forward game is like, I mean, somebody sent me $27 on Cash App so I can pay this bill. My fast forward game on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, is next level. You see, this is a 15-minute video. I found that clip. All right? Y'all better pay me my roses while I'm here. That was amazing. So, I mean, admittedly, some women do, and this is where the manosphere is right. This is where the guys in the manosphere are right, right? I know the broken clock is right 2 times a day. I know Kevin Samuels is right 2 times a day because Satan was right 2 times a day, and everybody else could be right 2 times a day too, right? You can learn wisdom from a homeless person. I get that. But I'm just saying in this case, and this is why I decided to play it, so you know I'm not just BSing. Women do know this as well. Women, y'all know this as well, that sometimes this happens.
So you damn right, I was mad at the world. I was more mad at myself. Now when I look up, I'm a bitter black woman. Mad at my life choices. I chose to marry him, knowing how he treated me in our relationship. I chose to give him another child after seeing how he treated me during my first pregnancy. Everything I did didn't change shit. All it did was add more baggage. And now I realize that I often find myself letting out my frustration on my kids.
All right. Now, we don't want to, and we'll rewind this. We're at 4:44, so I can at least hopefully remember that timestamp to give you something visual. Now, that's a lot right there. It's a pretty heavy load. Pause. But what's amazing is her true self-accountability and her self-introspection, right? She's really looking inwardly and assessing psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, everything that she's done because, and she does say in this video, you didn't hear, but in the introduction, she's making this from her mother's backyard because she moved in with her mom, right? So she's got her 2 kids and moved in with her mom. I think she's divorcing, or she divorced that guy that she was with, something like that. I didn't mean to do that. And so she's pretty much just making this as, this preamble as a type of just, really public, self-aware, introspective type of spiel to say, hey, listen, I understand why I got here, how I got here, and everything like that. But I just wanted to show you that because I want you to know that there are women that do admit that, yeah, I knew that this was a bad choice. And I'll be quite frank and honest with you. We've all done those things, right? We've all done things that we knew are bad choice. It just so happens that when you're talking about being in a relationship and having unprotected NCX with somebody, that's a very potentially dangerous bad choice. Now, I know that there are assaults that happen and things of that nature. We're not talking about any of that right now. We're talking about what she was just mentioning, right? Let's go ahead and keep playing this video just to hear a few more minutes of this. Then we're going to go on to our next video. And then we're going to talk about a possible solution. How can you not become a single mother? Well, it's quite simple. I mean, I don't know. And you know what? I'm feeling kind today. Oh, you know what? I know we're going to do it later. I'm not going to give you the solution right now. You might already know it, but you might not. I don't know.
When I do that, because, well, I love my babies and they didn't do anything wrong. They're just being what they know how to be. And that's a kid.
Shout out to that.
But just because I understand that, it doesn't make this job that I have any easier. One day, I was just sitting back, trying to figure out what else is the problem. I finally faced my fears. I left their father and I started over. I got some healing time in. Now my babies are back with me. Why do I still find myself feeling similar emotions that I thought I healed? I realized it was because of my kids. See, when I took the time out to be a part-time mom, they weren't here to shed light on certain things. I could basically distract myself in a way, if that makes sense. They weren't here to challenge me. When I got pregnant both times, I was not a mom at all. Like my oldest daughter was more like a little sister who came from me. I did the basics, kept you clean, fed, and alive. That's it. I wasn't good at being a parent. I never learned how to be one. I was good at providing though. I can go to work and buy whatever they needed. However, eventually, the older my oldest daughter got, I began to realize that something is off between me and my child. Like I couldn't quite put my fingers on it. I just knew that when she started to look for certain things in me, I couldn't do them. I wasn't any of those things that she needed. And that made me feel some type of way.
All right, so we're going to stop that there for 1 second. We're going to go ahead and move on to our third lady here. Now, Christy did make a video about this, and this is why I had this tab up. 4 years ago, January 14th in 2018. So it looks like this topic had a good amount of momentum for that period of time. But the name of that video that Christy made was Women Get Real About the Dark Side of Motherhood. Hashtag I regret having children. So this isn't a new concept, but it is a concept that I think needs to be brought back around, light back shed, if you will, into what's going on, and especially around the current times, given the Roe v. Wade situation. So let's go ahead and listen to this video.
Because I didn't do anything today, so like what is there to put up besides working out? I'm really glad that I got that out of the way. But anyways, so you guys, I'm editing right now, and I just wanted to say that in this next clip, I honestly thought that this was really awkward to record myself, but I was like, you know what, I need to be like real and show like how moms are sometimes, especially when they struggle with like anxiety or just being overwhelmed. And I was like, you know what, let me just record. And I was watching a video on YouTube because I was like, I just need somebody to relate to.
We're gonna fast forward this.
But I mean, I'm an adult, and being overwhelmed is like something that happens all the time. And I feel so guilty when I do feel like this, because I'm like, whenever I feel like overwhelmed or I feel sad or whatever, I am hard on myself when it comes to that. And I'm like, yo, there's so many people out there that are going through so much worse. Like, why are you feeling like this? I think about, people who are dealing with sicknesses, people who are dealing with deaths, and people like, I think that's just how I think. Like, yo, why are you feeling like this? Like, there's no reason for you to feel like this. And I hate that, like, I hate the fact that, like, whenever I just want to express myself, I always try my best to not express myself too much because, like I mentioned in the previous vlog, like I'm always thinking about not creating drama and stuff like that. But like, it gets hard sometimes. I'm a single mom and I do things and I do everything. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm gonna break down.
So we're gonna pause for a second. I think that the reality, and this is where some videos will start to trend, is, you know, abstinence. But I think the reality of the situation is that this message isn't preached enough. And I was speaking with, you know, a couple of friends of mine, and it was the same type of thing. I thought I heard somebody talking. Behind me. It was the same, you know, shared like idea, you know, type principle. It's that it's not really talked about enough. And I think a lot of the times we conceptualize, and especially the manosphere and people in this sphere and realm like to like conceptualize marriage and having a family as like this magnificent type of thing. But when things don't work out, it could be really bad. But aside from that, a lot of the times, if you end up having a child with somebody, in today's day and age, I'll be quite frank and honest with you, the numbers show that more than likely you're not going to stay with them. And so going into that type of commitment with somebody is a pretty risky, to say the least, bargain, if you will, of exchange, if you will, no pun intended. And so I think that going forward, it needs to be really abundantly clear that having a child for a woman really isn't a fantasy type of affair, even if you are married. And that's what one of the women said in the video as well before. I think that she was married to that guy, right? She said that she gave him 2 kids, even though she saw how he treated her in her pregnancy with the first child. She was still endeared to him. And, you know, hey, it is what it is at that point. I guess live and learn. But it seems to be that right now she's having a pretty hard time, and she will be having a pretty hard time. But the issue, I guess, moving forward is that it's not just you that's also going to have a hard time, but it's going to be the future generations that you bring into this world, that your children bring into this world as well. So it's a very deep, complex issue that I'm not going to get that deep into right now, because I don't want to bore you or lull you to sleep, because it is late, I will say. And my hair is trying to act up, but we've been wrangling it good today, so we're not going to let it win. But I do want to make very clear light of the fact that it's not talked about enough just how serious getting pregnant is. And it's apparent here. Now, we're going to go back to this lady's story, but I was told that I should, you know, really kind of make that really effectively clear in tonight's message. That if you are having sex, right? I shouldn't have said that word. If you are like doing that, you know, you are at risk for having a child. I mean, if you're on birth control, I know we have birth control and a million other things and yada, 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 and everything like that. But if you are being physical right now, then you have the ability potentially to have a child. And it's that simple. I mean, it's really not that complex and difficult. And I'll be quite honest with you. The reason why I have no kids right now, to be quite honest, is because there was a period in my life when I was not having relations at all, like for years, straight up. So maybe it's a bit easier. Maybe it was a bit easier. I know that women do have a lot more access. I know. I get it. Right? There was a point in time, and I you know, hey, things changed. Life is a roller coaster for everybody. I get it. But I will say, and I can understand that, sure, having maybe more to eat at the buffet, more to indulge in, more resources to kind of take part in life's very extravagant bonanzas can, you know, add weight to you, can maybe take a few years off depending on the different types of designer alcohols and spirits and things of that nature you like to consume. I get that, depending on the lifestyle that you like to partake in, like to live a little bit on the wild side. Some of you do. I know you do. So I understand that. I do. But all in all, when it's all said and done, it is a very simple answer. And your answer is to stop having sex. It's that simple. If you don't want to become a single mom, then stop having sex. And I say single mom specifically in this case because no woman goes out to become a single mom. No woman sets forth to become a single mom. Very few purposely try to become a single mother, this emboldened, horrific type of thing. But I understand that there's also a stigma against talking about single moms. I get that. And it's not that all single mothers even feel this way. I'm sure there's a decent amount that don't. However, when things do get to this level, it could be a really debilitating feeling. And once again, it's not just you, but it's another group of people that are going to be affected by it as well. I'm going to listen to this a bit more, then we'll go back to what I'm saying. Then I'll read some of y'all's comments and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can hop onto the panel. I might open up the Zoom in a little bit. We'll see. Serious.
I didn't fucking come out here to cry. Fuck. I came out here to be transparent with you guys. I feel like I've been doing everything. Everything. I've been doing so much. And I have no help. And, you know, I'm not the first or the last person to like not have help, and I'm really grateful for, once again, I have to mention this because people be talking shit and I want to curse people out, but I'm really grateful for my family because they ask me for help, but I never want help. As crazy as that might sound, I'm always like you have your own life, like I barely take it, you know. But that daily help is needed sometimes, you know.
So that daily help is needed sometimes. That's crazy. It's talking about just having the guy around, having somebody else around
to see if anybody feels like me. Because sometimes I feel like I'm being ungrateful. Like I'm exaggerating or I'm being too extra. But I just found somebody here. And she kind of was feeling the same way that I was feeling, but she literally has a husband. But her husband works a lot. And she's just like, you know, having anxiety. As a mother. I fucking hate this shit.
All right, so I think it's important once again. Geez, this is brutal, man. I think it's important once again to point out what she's saying, and she just mentioned the fact that her friend is also feeling the same way she's feeling, but her friend is married and with a husband that makes a lot of money. Now, I want you to understand very clearly that whilst her friend might also be going through some things and anxiety, and her husband works a lot of the time, so taking care of the kid is, you know, a lot tougher. If he's making, you know, and he's paying for all the bills and he's this and he's that, she is not feeling the same way that this lady right here is feeling. All right. It's a completely different feeling when you're really alone doing this and raising children, multiple children by yourself. That's got to be brutal. I mean, I'm still kind of like out here by myself, like struggling. So I think that her friend was definitely, obviously, and it's good, you know, to definitely console each other and definitely find likeness. And I'm sure raising a child is no easy. I know it's no easy feat, because kids are freaking crazy, straight up. They're crazy. But she's probably not feeling exactly like this, as exacerbated as this lady is, right?
I barely have these little, I don't know what you would call them, little crying sessions. I try my best not to have them because, like I said, I try my best to like be grateful for everything that I have, for being healthy. But it's the smallest thing that'll trigger like my anxiety, and then I'll just be like, fuck, like I just wish I had some help.
Jesus Christ, man. Whew. Yo, that's brutal, man. That is brutal. Hey, man, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday evening. I know it's a late night. Make sure that we like. THT, I'll text you. You ain't hit me back. I don't know who's texting my phone, Sherelle. I don't know who is texting my phone. If you have my number, definitely hit me though. Definitely hit me. Miss Butterfly, thank you for this truth. No problem. Thank y'all for watching. Hey, we got Diana Prince in the building. Man, we got 2 of the best mods in the building. Hey, Batty Gals in here too. We got 3 awesome mods. And it's so good to see y'all in the building. Yo, yeah, I was watching these videos. I was like, jeez. Whew. And yo, I found worse videos than this, but I was like, I can't show these. Because the other videos were like, the lady was talking about, she was pretty much talking about her own kids, but whew, so I titled this the way I titled it because there needs to be a message, a clear message. Make sure we get the likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Get the likes up. I know it's late. There needs to be a clear message of abstinence going forward, at least until you're ready wholeheartedly to accept what it is to be a mother in and out of a relationship. Because in 2022, raising a child is nothing like it was in the 90s, in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s. You've seen it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand. Trust me, it's very different. With everything going on, with all the modern efforts of technology, kids are smarter, they're quicker, they're wittier, they have more access to things, they have more time to have access to things. They have more time and access to use different instruments to work against you, to be what they're best at being, which is a kid. And so I think that a lot of people are not quite understanding, right, exactly what they're getting into. A lot of women are not really understanding exactly what they're getting into. And then we have a lot of people who might try to do and have malicious efforts with, per se, maybe impregnating a woman. Like a guy who thinks that a woman is just out of his league and he'll never get this type of woman. Well, he will try and get her pregnant. He's going to try and put a baby in her, right, as they say, and try and secure her in that way, because he knows that her having that child is going to change her life so drastically that it's going to connect them to some extent, or it's going to connect him to her in such a way, even if they never talk to each other again, just that personal satisfaction or thought of him having a child with her is enough to carry him to his casket. As twisted as that sounds, that's how guys think, that just kind of smash and dash women and purposely get them pregnant. There are guys out there that will see a woman and be like, you know what? I'm going to put a baby in her, and that's it. They don't want to be with her. They don't have any feelings for her. They'll wine, dine, lie, scheme, manipulate. Is that a word? Sure. And to eventually get what they're trying to get, right? So the woman might actually really have the feelings and really think that everything's going to go down and everything like that. That's why I say it has to be about just saying no and just not having sex. Just go to Amazon and go find you something. I'm just being honest. Because this is what continues these perpetual stories of the Blackistan horrors and the perpetual stories of this. It all traces down to one root, essentially, which is, and maybe not, because I know that there are kids that had a great upbringing that still went on to go do crazy things, but majority of people who go on to do some pretty bad things or nefarious things didn't have the best community, or communita rather, no pun intended. Drop a bomb for myself, right? To give them the structure that they needed to go out and do things. And so to correct the issue, one of the biggest ways to correct the issue is not to abort black male babies, but it's to instead be a lot more careful with the reproduction. Now, I know that that's what Christy says. I know that that's what, who else? Paris Milan says, and I know that that's what they talk about. quite, passionately. But it's not really the message that I'm talking about. It's not what I think that they should be talking about, and I hope that they see this. And I'm sure they've seen some of my videos. I hope that they see this and do start to change the message to just abstinence, because going forward, the message will start to change to all men, as it kind of is right now. But past that, it needs to be really clear. It needs to be really, really, really clear that you're essentially playing with fire, right? And the other side about it is, even if you don't get pregnant, when you're giving your body to somebody, and it's a guy, and he's not necessarily getting that type of play everywhere, and he is very jealous, or he's very maniacal, or he's very hooked on you, obsessive, whatever it might be, and you're giving him the pleasure like that nobody else is giving him, and then you might try to take it away from him. You just don't know exactly what could happen, and I know it's a grim type of way to look at it, but I'm just being realistic. You might end up going through some BS trying to get him away. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure y'all have experienced just cutting dudes off and they don't want to just let go immediately, right? It's like, no, they keep hitting you up. They might come visit you. They might just keep texting you or trying to call you from a Wi-Fi phone, hit you up on your social medias, and you're like, dude, I'm done type of stuff, right? Well, it's kind of the same way with laying in bed with somebody. If this dude's not really getting any play outside of you, but for whatever reason, or if maybe he is getting play outside of you, but you are just, that type of chick, and you're just, so fly that he's so addicted to you, yada, 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 it could still end up being a problem type of deal, right? Now, that could also be choosing a different type of partner or choosing a better partner to lay with, but still you're rolling the dice once again on the whole pregnancy thing. Now, I'm speaking from once again from the side that Roe v. Wade is going to take majority of the continental United States aborting abortion, right? And then making Plan B illegal, right? I know a lot of y'all don't like condoms. I don't like condoms. So I get it. I definitely do. But still, I know a lot of people don't have self-control either. A lot of people are here from one-night stands. People watching right now on the stream, some of y'all watching right now are here from one-night stands. Straight up. And your parents had somewhat amicable relationships. They might have met and decided to stay in the same city, or maybe they just had some kind of something going on. I guarantee, I at least guarantee, 2%, 2 to 5% of the people watching in this entire cumulative month of viewership were probably here from one night stands. It's a lot of people when you ultimately think about 330 million people in the United States, right? It's a lot of one night stands. It's a lot of creation from essentially no emotional ties. The reason, once again, we do feel some of those backlash and whiplashes in our communities because of those lack of emotional ties still going through forward today because of the lack of community, the lack of family building, this, and that. Just like the woman said, choosing to build a family with a guy that she knew wasn't a good guy. Now, we've taken the side of women that didn't know that the guy wasn't a good guy. She might have been manipulated. I can't say that word. She might have been this. She might have been that. But it's time to take the other side. And once again, like we said that we were going to do a while ago, accountable. I know. All right. There you go, Black Commander. Are you happy now? M87 the Great. Are you happy now? M87 the Great. He's been with us for a few years now. He's been watching for probably almost 2 years, maybe a year and a half, probably almost 2 years of me going in on black guys. So he's been listening to these videos and he's like, finally, you're finally going. And he's like, oh, these videos have been well done. So I'm glad you're enjoying them, M87. Right? But this is the truth. And ultimately, this is not just to harp on one specific type of people. It's not just to harp on women, black women, or any type of women. This is simply to put out the reality of the situation and the same thing that I'm saying, right? It is brutal out here, ladies and gentlemen, in 2022. It is brutal. And you want to give yourself the best chances that you have going forward. I don't know why sex is so addicting for some of y'all. I don't know why some of y'all can't resist sex, both guys and gals. I get that it feels good. I don't know. Once again, I understand that it's a kid in the candy store type of effect. And it's like, well, dude, if you put me in a candy store, of course I'm going to get some candy. I get that, but I also don't get it. Because to me, if I was a woman, if I was a lady, I would be like, whew, nobody's getting close unless you like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be shady, guys. Y'all gonna be upset. I'm gonna be shady, but this is just how I would be. If I was a woman, unless you look like like a freaking supermodel type of dude, or you're loaded or something, I'm sorry. I'm not about to have a kid by anybody. To have a child, to have your child, to have somebody's child. I'm a guy talking about this, so you can kind of call it what you will. Take me to court. I'm guilty. Guilty as charged. I shouldn't be talking like this. But seriously, though. What? Don't let me actually look kind of good. Hey. It is what it is. Easier said with Meg said, now I have sex, but safely. Okay, easier said with Meg. Easier said with Meg. Here's the thing. A lot of people... How many times have you heard easier said with Meg? How many times have you heard a guy say, "Oh, I'll open up the Zoom if you want to open up Zoom too." Well, we only have 30 people. We don't need to open up Zoom. How many guys say, "Oh, the condom, I don't want to wear the condoms," right? TM said people are pleasure seeking and basing their decisions on physicalities and lust, desire, and ultimately making babies from those types of unions. Yo, people are creating generational soul ties from them wanting to get their rocks off, yo. It's major. It's major. Wow. This is why honestly, it's interesting. I know that everybody is really kind of, racially type of thing with the whole, whatever it might be, but I don't know. I think the government might be trying to do a little reverse 22 or catch 22 type of play. Some backwards psychology, reverse psychology on the people. Be like, okay, you know what? Let's just make them have kids so they stop having kids. You know what I mean? Type of deal? Maybe not. Easier said when Meg said, I'm 29 and black and childless. Nope, I never had an abortion. I can't be a statistic. Sorry. Easier said with Meg. We're dropping the bombs for you for standing in. I'm trying to make it politically. Easier said with Meg, we drop bombs for you. Sarah Price said condom, 1 for the female, 2 for the male. Birth control, arm injection, spermicides in the diaphragm. That should do it. Sarah Price, we drop bombs. Sarah Price gave every single way right there. I've heard about the female versions, definitely. There's experimental birth control out there too. Diana, thank you for the email the other day, Diana. I didn't get to respond, but thank you for the email the other day, and for everybody else. I'm kind of doxing, right? Thank you, Diana. Dennis said there's many ways to prevent pregnancy. Absolutely, there's so many ways. It's like, yo, TM said black women stop gambling. My bad. But TM said black women stop gambling with your womb. Your womb is precious. Country Boy said, truth. Why don't those kinds of dudes go and shack up with prostitutes if they need a nut in that release? I mean, I completely, kind of. And hey, the manosphere advocates for the prostitute type route sometimes, right? They talk about the passport gang going overseas because the women overseas are a lot more willing and, accountable and submissive and stuff like that. And obviously the dollar stretches further. And things like that, so they're able to use the currency as a status type of thing to give them extra points on the 1 to 10 scale factor, right? So over in America they're 4s, but when they go to a different country they might be 6s. It might be a 7, depending on the country. They might be an 8 or a 9. I don't know. So just like if certain countries come over here, maybe those countries are valued very, very highly, if I don't know, if use your imagination on that one, I guess. Let's see what else here. I appreciate that. Appreciate the Miss Butterfly. Yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. Sherelle says I'm pro male birth control. Yo, definitely. I mean, our condoms are pro male birth control, right? IUDs rip through. Oh, okay. Are ripped though? Okay. IUDs. I've heard about the IUDs. Those are the ones in the arms, right? The IUDs. I think I felt, I dated it or talked to a chick. And you could feel it in her arm, the little birth control. thing, and it was solid. I was like, wow. How does that work? How does the birth control in your arm make you not have children? I guess, does it release something into your blood? Yo, birth control is kind of brutal. What the hell is birth control? I might need to have a talk here in a little bit about birth control. Laura says, not always if they're inserted right. IUDs aren't the same as Noraplant. That goes in the arm. Okay, Noraplant. Thank you, Diana. Noraplant goes in the arm. That's what I saw, and that's what I felt. That was trippy. Sherelle says, no, men need to get on birth control. Men should experience the same precautionary issues we do. Well, okay, so Sherelle, you want men to actually get on like a pill, birth control pill, is what you're saying? Not condom, a birth control pill. Easier said with Meg said it sends hormones or something. Okay, you're talking about the Noraplant? I never been on birth control. It's as easy as watching your ovulation. I know that there are ovulation calculators and apps and things of that nature. Obviously I'm a guy, so I don't know that much about that, so I'll keep it light. Laura says these days it's called Next Planning. Is that the Noraplant? This sounds kind of the same. So it releases a hormone through your arm or something. Easier said with Meg says. That's crazy. That makes sense. I assumed it had to be linked up to some kind of arterial system, right? In order to spread that type of effect. But man, what kind of science is that to be able to release hormones to keep? I guess that makes sense. That sounds pretty safe to me, right? Because if it's the natural hormones, I thought it was doing something different. Like I thought it was like, doing something different. So that's interesting. That's interesting how they quantified or scientified that. G. Fran says, oh Lord. Dana Prince says, birth control stops a woman's egg from being fertilized. Laura Garrow, I remember them coming to my math class with them. That scared me to death. So birth control stops a woman's egg from being fertilized. Okay. Well, Sherelle, I think that males getting on birth control would definitely be, hey. Hey. I feel you. I feel it. But that's why I say this. I'm not telling anybody, Sherelle, that they need to be on birth control. I'm just saying stop. Just stop. I'm saying just go to Amazon.com and then just until you're absolutely 1,000% ready for what this could do to your life, just stop. That's what I'm saying. Might as well. Both sides. Stop. Now, Sherelle, what you're talking about would essentially be sterilization, right? And the government, nobody would ever be able to, the government would never be able to do that essentially, right? Because, it's not, I'm sorry, Sherelle, it's not sterilization. People are going to be like, oh my God, truth? So it's sterilization when men get, no, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. Let me back up for a second. I said that wrong. What I meant, because I was taking it from the point that the government was trying to make everybody, because I was reading it. Sherelle said this, no, men need to get on birth control. So I was thinking like they would be forced to, but that's not the case. I get what you're saying. Like, no, if women take birth control, then men should too. Well, here's the thing though, Sherelle. Women don't. Well, I can't even say that because there are some times when you do have to take birth control depending on, different things and different stances in life. I'm not going to get into all that right now, but, it's a different conversation. So there are times when you do have to take birth control, believe it or not. Yes, you are required to take birth control by the government. So in that case, it would be forcible sterilization then. And, what you're saying, Sherelle, is that it needs to be done on mass scale or in mass, and there needs to be some sort of development because is there even a pill for guys to take? There's no birth control for guys, is there? Now, Sherelle, the only thing I can think about, which is different here, is that the way the birth control for males would be fundamentally different, right? Completely different. Radically different. in which case it'd have to be that either the travelers are neutralized or killed, right, before they're exited. But if that's the case, then how exactly? I mean, are you stopping the production? No, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not gonna bro science any of that. You know.
And when we take up the cross of Christ,
I'm not gonna act like I know what I'm talking about there, because I definitely don't. Good conversations. Aquarius Sky says men definitely have the option to take. Men should have the option. Well, is there let me Google it. Is there birth control for men? Let's Google. Google party. Is there birth control for men? Look at that. It filled in. All right, here we go. Screenshot. Currently, men have only 2 effective options for birth control: male condoms and vasectomy. Okay, so a vasectomy is essentially birth control. The pill for guys. Male birth control option passes safe. Now, that was in 2019. Why are there no birth control pills for men? April 13th, 2020. A study of 82 men in early 2019 determined that a hormone-based pill called You know what's crazy to me? You know, I just realized that we don't even read, and I thought about this the other day. When we're speaking and reading these words on Google, we're just reading words because we memorized the way they looked. Like, we don't read this as his turn. We just know that this is the word his and this is the word turn. But when you get to these medical words like dimethyldrone undecanoate, you actually have to go right back to 2nd grade and freaking read again. And it feels horrible. Like, I just want a lifeline. Can I call my mom? Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. So, yeah, there are no birth control pills for men. What in the heck is going on? There are no birth control pills for men? I don't know. What do y'all think? Dang, that's pretty crazy right there. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. Because when guys have a lot of kids, I don't think the system makes them get on birth control. But then again, granted, guys can go to jail for not paying child support, though, right? So, I mean, the system does kind of get them back in a way, right? Kind of. I don't know. A lot of the manosphere guys complain about the system being against them and like child support being terrible, this and that. Yo, the system can do women dirty, man. The system can do women dirty. Don't let you have a kid and get caught up in the system, man. The system can do you dirty. I'm not playing. It can do you dirty, dirty, dirty. The system doesn't care. The system doesn't care. Now, people within that system can, but the system fundamentally is effed, man. Listen, let's go back to this lady's video. I'm gonna read some more of y'all's comments in a second. Hey, send a little send a $3 donation on Cash App. $3 donation on Cash App. That sounds so pathetic. Please don't send any money. Because the phone goes off, they're gonna be like, he's begging for $3. That's really bad. Send 5.
I feel like I've literally been like, ever since I became an adult, ever since I had my first child, even before that, like I had a stepchild, and I feel like I've been doing
and you're watching on replay, send the money.
Everything on my own since then. And I love being a mom. I'm really appreciative and grateful for like the experiences that I've experienced, because it's made me a better person. I've learned so much, but for some reason I still have like anxiety, and I fucking hate it. It will just creep up on me at the most random times. Well, today wasn't really random. Today I was really overwhelmed. Shout out to everybody out there who has more than 2 children. I just have to say that, like, goodness gracious. Shout out to all of you guys.
All right, so we're going to pause for 1 second. We're going to go back to our other lady friend who seemed like she was reading like a poem or something like that. Now, Christy did talk about this. We're not going to play her video. I just wanted to shout her out just because she did cover this once again. But I'm going to go back to our first lady's video, and we might fast forward a little bit. It's only a 12-minute video, but we're going to fast forward.
Do that and then get the clothes and then feed her. I mean, like, doing way too much. I've learned to just really take time. Like, watch. So now, while she in the tub, I sit on my butt, or I get on my computer or something that I like to do, even if it's just for a few minutes, or even sometimes I open the door and I look out into the goddamn sky and just breathe. Because when you have toddlers or when you have little kids, you can't even breathe. You can't breathe. So you have at least the amount of time before they, Mama, ready to get out now. You at least got 3 of those. They're going to tell you at least about 3 times before you really got to go get them out. They're going to just be driving you crazy. So I've learned to do things like that. What else I'm learning? Sometimes I hide in the closet for as long as they last, and then she finds me.
Says sometimes she hides in the closet for as long as it lasts, and then her daughter finds her.
I'm also starting to, just like I schedule my work life and other plans in my life, I'm scheduling self-time. I'm scheduling time. I'm making time like this right now. Right as soon as I finish this video, I'm about to walk around this park. As you can see, it's school day. Ain't too many people. It's early right now. It's gonna take me a nice little walk and breathe. I'm probably not gonna do no music. I just want to hear the birds and the trees and the voices around. That's it. I put money to the side so I can do little special things. To me, it's a good day for a daiquiri. I'm gonna go have a daiquiri by myself. That's what I like to do. It helps me regroup and rethink, and it gives me the that strength and power that I need to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna try this again. That's what I woke up this morning and say, you know what? We're gonna try this again.
You know what I see as a main theme throughout, even the videos of the moms that are like, man, I hate this. I hate being a mom. They have this thing where they still push and push and push. And the theme is that ultimately they don't want to give up, and that there are things that they really love about being a mother. But whenever things are done, or whenever things are done right, and even if they fall out of order, when you do things right, because there are women who, there are some women who do things right, and there are some guys who do things right, and things just don't work out, right? Then the fallout can be a lot, and just could be a lot to deal with, right? So I did notice that, and I think it's interesting, and I just want to say kudos, and it's obviously not a very easy road at all. It's obviously can be hell in some moments, especially depending on the little one that you might have. Which is why, once again, it needs to be really, really abundantly clear that a good time, one good night, a few good nights, if you aren't ready potentially to share this type of lifestyle with, your little one, right, which is a lifestyle of a good amount of stress and anxiety for about 7 to 8 years initially, and then it might dwindle down for a bit until they start to double back in the teens, right, until they realize that they know everything in the world, right, like we all did. Maybe they're never good, I don't know, but it needs to be really fundamentally clear and understood that being an adult and doing adult things at night will lead to very adult consequences. And regardless of what you think, Roe v. Wade or this or that, the reality of the situation is that the women are going to be the ones that suffer more whenever pregnancy and children are brought into the world. If things go bad, it's going to be the women that suffer more. It wasn't always that way when society did cater to, like in the Titanic days, women and children. But in today's day, in 2022, in the post-Kevin Samuels, late Kevin Samuels, in the divestiture era, in this era, really, turbocharged cancel culture era, this doxing, hate-filled, radical mob-minded era, the ideas to be radical around seem to be a little off. Okay, we seem to have missed it a little bit. Right? Let's go ahead and double back to the basics. Right? It's not trying to be religious or prude or anything like that, but it's being honest. Brutally honest. And it's better to be honest and to be safe than to be sorry. Listen, if you enjoyed the show, make sure you give a like on the way out. I do enjoy doing this with you. We'll be back very soon. Man, I cannot wait to introduce a product that we have. I said we have coming to y'all. It is amazing. I cannot wait for y'all to see it. A lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of resources have been poured into this. And that's all I can say for now. Always working, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you're doing the same in and out of your computer digital realm, in and off of, on and off of your cell phones, televisions, whatever digital device you're watching us on tonight, whether you're in your car, whether you're at work, in your bed, or at church. I want to thank you for listening. I can be reached at thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. Be consulted as well if you like my words. You value my wisdom enough to hear what I think of your particular life situations. Obviously, it's completely confidential. I've done 2 consultations. I've changed 2 lives. No, I'm kidding. I've changed much more than that because they're going to tell everybody. I'm kidding. I do that as well. We got music coming down too. But, man, a lot of stuff going down right now. I can't wait. Excited. We're going to wrap this thing on up. Take care of yourself. Second Amendment. Make sure you think about it. Consider your voting political rights. Make sure you go do something fun tomorrow. You only live one time, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be so stuck up a stream that you miss the whole damn party. All right? I love you so much. Good night. I'll talk to you soon.